Hundreds of homes are flooded in Nottinghamshire, leading to a major incident being declared. Flood warnings remain in place across large parts of England.
There have also been hundreds of evacuations here in Gloucestershire. We're in Tewkesbury, where once again the Abbey stands dry amongst a sea of floodwater.
The weather has caused a lot of disruption over recent days, but thankfully it is turning drier and brighter through today and for the weekend too. So some good news, but it will take several days for the floodwaters to recede.
10 fire engines and around 70 firefighters were called to flooding in Hackney Wick. It was caused by a canal bursting its banks, with water affecting an area of around 10 acres. Around 50 people had to be led to safety. A London party boat sank in the Thames at Temple Pier amid the heavy rainfall. You can see the mast sticking out of the water there. The owner says everyone's been accounted for. Trains are still affected by weather conditions. Great Western Railway says passengers should expect disruption until at least midday after flooding and a death on the tracks caused major disruption west of Reading yesterday. Tickets for travel today will be valid tomorrow. And South Western Railway asks you to check before travelling due to flooding across its network.
Good morning. It's Friday the 5th of January. Flood warnings remain in place for parts of England and Wales this morning, as hundreds of people have been forced to leave their homes due to heavy rainfall following Storm Henk.
More than 300 flood alerts and warnings are in place across much of southern, eastern and central England. You can see the map there that gives you a real indication of the scale of the problems. In Nottinghamshire, a major incident has been declared as the water levels in the River Trent remain extremely high. Raid Smith has the latest.
Yet more heavy rain on already sodden ground. In Nottinghamshire, a major incident has been declared as the River Trent continued to rise, as high as it's been in more than 20 years. The peak expected today. Hundreds of people have been evacuated from their flooded homes, and a few miles south in Loughborough, this flat ruined by floodwater. Darren's father had to be rescued in the early hours of yesterday morning.
There was 3 feet of water, whereas today I'm walking in and there's no water.
The River Severn also expected to peak today. Belongings piled high in this cottage in Worcester to escape the worst of the damage. In the village of Longford near Gloucester, Catherine is helping to look after her mum's house, which was surrounded by water, again from the River Severn.
It's 2007 all over again. And it just means Mum, if it does go through, it'll be 9 months out again.
And this is what the River Avon did to Alice and Mark's garden in Fordingbridge. The flood defence swamped.
The garden would get flooded, it did last year, so we had to start bringing all of the equipment and tools that we had in the garden, all of the toys for the children, and start bringing up closer to the house, which is on higher ground.
The water breached a couple of weeks ago, and now it's the riverbank has gone as well.
Anyone travelling by train today is advised to check their service before they set off after major disruption to multiple routes, including Great Western Railway and South Western Railway. This was the scene at Hinton Admiral Station last night. The rail line between Liskeard and Loo looking more like a river.
Somewhere between Newton Abbot and Totnes, we ground to a halt and sat there for a couple of hours and while they assessed whether they could go through the floodwater or not.
There were 259 active flood warnings last night, meaning flooding is expected across much of England and 2 in Wales, and more than 300 flood alerts, meaning flooding is possible. The Environment Agency is advising people in areas covered by flood warnings to turn off gas, water and electricity supplies, move belongings upstairs and seek safety for family, pets and cars. And after Storm Henk comes a cold weather alert for all of England from tomorrow until Tuesday. Maria Smith, BBC News.